The new Pokemon Pocket update has added 8 new Ultra Ball and 8 new Master Ball step-up battles with the introduction of the Mythical Island set. Today we're going to break down all of the decks, battle tasks, and rewards included in these new battles, as well as what decks you should be playing to complete them efficiently. I'm Rose from RoseTCG. Let's take a look at these battles. The Ultra Ball difficulty comprises of 8 battles against decks featuring cards from the new set. The first battle is against a Celebi EX deck, followed by Volcarona and Blaine, Gyarados EX, Raichu and Lieutenant Surge, Mew EX, Aerodactyl EX, Golem and Brock, and finally Blue and Pidgeot EX. The first time you win each battle, you'll be rewarded with 5 pack hourglasses, 150 shine dust, and 1 shop ticket. Adding up all the first time rewards, you'll receive 40 pack hourglasses, 1200 shine dust, and 8 shop tickets. Additional rewards can be earned by completing the 4 battle tasks associated with each battle. 3 of these battle tasks are identical across all battles, with 1 having slight variations. The first battle task is to knock out 3 active Pokemon with an attack from a Pokemon whose type is super effective against the opposing deck. For example, Celebi is a grass type that's weak to fire, so to clear this battle task against Celebi, you'll need to knock out 3 active Pokemon with a fire type. This is pretty easy to do, as you should already be taking a super effective matchup into these battles anyway. The second battle task is to deal 100 or more damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon with 1 attack. This can be a little tricky for some decks, but as long as you build a deck with a Pokemon that can deal at least 80 damage, the super effective bonus will take care of the rest. Giovanni can also be super helpful for this task. The third task is to simply win the battle by turn 14, and the final task is to win the battle without your opponent getting any points. You'll need to play a little more defensively to secure the final task, so I suggest playing some games with auto battle turned off. For each battle task completed, you'll earn an additional 5 shop tickets. This adds up to 20 per battle and 160 total for completing all Ultra Ball battle tasks. Deck building is pretty simple for these battles, as you'll just want to play whatever deck is strongest and super effective in the matchup. I won't recommend any Mythical Island decks, as most of you probably don't have all the cards required for some of those lists yet. Against Celebi, I recommend Blaine Aggro. Celebi requires a few turns of setup to evolve into Superior and attach energies to Celebi to get the most out of its attack. This makes a fast-paced Stage 1 deck with type advantage a perfect counter to disrupt Celebi's early game. For Volcarona and Blaine, you'll want to play Starmie EX, as it's one of the strongest decks from Genetic Apex and can easily dominate a slower fire deck. For Gyarados, you should play Pikachu EX, as the type matchup and speed makes the battle a cakewalk if you can avoid opposing Misties. For Raichu and Lieutenant Surge, Marowak EX is a really good option to take advantage of the weaker electric types. For Mew, you'll want to play Koga, as it's a deck filled with weaker attacks that Mew doesn't have much use for with genome hacking. The poison plus type advantage makes for a consistent strategy against this deck. For Aerodactyl, you should play Pikachu EX, since it doesn't get countered by Aerodactyl's ability and it has type advantage. For Golem and Brock, Venusaur EX is a great matchup as it can sustain the heavier attacks while bouncing back with super effective attacks of its own. And finally, for Blue and Pidgeot EX, Mewtwo EX is a solid option as it doesn't usually fill its bench, which makes Pidgeot pretty ineffective. The Master Ball difficulty comprises of another 8 battles, but with some different decks, as well as different battle tasks and better rewards. The opposing decks for these battles are Venusaur EX and Superior, Celebi EX and Superior, Volcarona and Moltres EX, Gyarados EX and Vaporeon, Raichu and Magneton, Mew EX and Mewtwo EX, Aerodactyl EX and Marowak EX, and lastly, Blue and Pidgeot EX. The first time you win each battle, you'll be rewarded with 7 pack hourglasses, 200 shine dust, and 1 shop ticket. Adding up all the first time rewards, you'll receive 56 pack hourglasses, 1600 shine dust, and 8 shop tickets. Additional rewards can again be earned by completing the 5 battle tasks associated with each battle. 3 of these battle tasks are identical across all battles, with 2 having slight variations. The first battle task is to win each battle with a deck comprising of Pokemon who are only the type that the opposing deck is usually super effective against. For example, fighting types are usually weak to grass, so to clear this battle task against Venusaur, you'll need to win the battle using only fighting types. This is one of the more difficult tasks, and one of the reasons why you'll probably need to play multiple decks to complete each battle. The second battle task is to win the battle using only 1 diamond, 2 diamond, and or 3 diamond rarity Pokemon. This is the other reason why you'll probably have to play multiple decks, as this limits your use of EXs and other powerful cards. The third and fourth tasks are to win by turn 12 and to win without your opponent getting any points, which is pretty similar to the Ultra Ball battles. The final task alternates between dealing 1500 or more damage across all attempts and getting 12 or more points across all attempts. Both of these tasks are very straightforward but will require some time, so auto battling is definitely recommended. For each battle task completed, you'll earn an additional 5 shop tickets, which adds up to 25 per battle and 200 total for completing all Master Ball battle tasks. Deck building is a little bit tedious for these battles, as the task limitations make it very difficult to complete each battle with just 1 deck. To complete this difficulty, I recommend having a 3 deck rotation for every battle. First, you'll want to start with a deck that has a weak matchup. That's the hardest task, so you'll want to complete that first while getting a head start on some of the others. In some situations, you can make this task a little bit easier by using Pokemon whose type has a weak matchup, but they themselves aren't weak to the type you're battling. For example, fighting types can be weak to grass types or psychic types, so against Celebi, you'll want to use a deck that has fighting types weak to psychic. After completing this task, you should look to complete the low rarity task. For this task, I recommend playing Blaine Aggro for every battle, as it's easily the strongest deck in the game that fits this criteria. You'll have a hard time into Gyarados, but every other battle is relatively easy with this deck. To complete the remaining task, just repeat the same decks you use in the Ultra battles to give yourself the best type matchups. That's all for the step battles breakdown. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out our socials and join our community on Discord too. Good luck in your games, and thanks for watching.